And viewers, the Siddaramaiah-led Karnataka cabinet had cleared a bill that mandates job reservation for Kannadigas in all private industries in the state. As per the draft copy, the bill mandates hiring 50% local candidates in management category posts and 70% local candidates in non-management posts. But what grabbed everyone's attention was that the state government itself appeared to be confused over the bill. First, the Chief Minister put out a social media post last night mentioning that 100% reservations would be there in the C and D category jobs in the private sector. Today, the post from the Chief Minister's official handle was deleted and another post was published. But this time, there was no mention of 100% reservation for locals in the C and D categories. The new post spoke only about 50% job quota in management roles and 75% reservation in non-management roles, as we mentioned earlier. However, this draft bill was met with vehement opposition from top industry voices. Madhavdas G, the chairman of RN Capital, said the bill is aggressive and discriminatory. Madhavdas G, executive chairman of Biocon, also took to social media to say that this move should not affect the leading tech position of the state. The National Association of Software and Services Companies also came down heavily on the bill, saying that this move could result in an exodus of companies from the state.
Have you heard of anything draconian and totalitarian like this? And then they say that for every enterprise which has got more than 100 people, they're going to have a government official sitting on the recruitment committee, Section 8. How can you do this? You can't reserve anything in the private sector. There's no discrimination against anybody in Karnataka. All enterprises will invite people, they will see whether you're capable, you are skilled, and they will hire you. They don't care who you are. They don't look at the gender. You can be male, female, or anything. They don't look at it. They don't look where you come from.
Keeping such restrictions will only ultimately end in stopping all infrastructure projects, and the industries also will be closed if such compulsions are imposed on the infrastructure and industries.
While the state government tried to reassure investors and businesses and said that doors were open for consultation, the move drew criticism even from Congress's ally, the CPM, which called the step retrograde and regressive.
No investors has to worry. We want all investors to come to Karnataka. We don't want to harm anyone. We are just looking, we will give them a scope. There are some suggestions which has come on this issue. We are just looking at it.
Karnataka decision is retrograde, reactionary and regressive. In fact, $250 billion IT hub of Bangalore came up not because of Kannadigas alone. If you bring in such regressive measures, it's going to affect the integrity and unity of this country.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi has been campaigning that we should not have fear, we should not have hate and things like that. This kind of parochial feelings would lead to a situation where people belonging to different linguistic groups would be campaigning against each other.
But after industry experts have voiced concerns, the state government appears to have been on the back foot. The Karnataka government has decided to put the bill on hold for now. The Minister for IT Industries, Law and Labour, along with legal advisor to Chief Minister, are also expected to give more clarity over the same tomorrow in a press conference. And the Chief Minister himself has taken to social media X to inform about the decision, saying the move will be revisited and a decision will be taken in coming days. Let's quickly take this across to Imran. Imran, the state government has decided to finally take a back step on this and saying that the bill is temporarily on hold, that they've not completely ruled out its implementation. What are we looking at the moment?
Well, Madhav, after a huge backlash from the industry and other NASSCOM Federation, the Chief Minister has decided that the bill will be kept on hold for some time and it will be discussed thoroughly in the next cabinet. There are several provisions of the bill which the industry has highlighted as far as the reserving jobs for Kannadiga is concerned. One is that 50% in management quota, 75% in non-management quota, and they don't find a candidate, then they should refer to a government body which will suggest who they can hire, and also the case of penalties of ranging from 10,000 to between 25,000 rupees. And overall, the entire bill, draft bill itself, they found it, the idea itself, they find it repulsive, saying that it stifles merit and it cannot be addressed in a globalized economy like this. And over this issue, issue, there was a huge debate, and there was strong condemnation over this from the industry experts over this. In fact, early in the morning, speaking to Times Now, MB Patil said that he has heard what the industry experts leaders have tweeted, and he will discuss with the Chief Minister about this, and he will, along with the IT Minister and Law Minister, we will try to address some of these concerns and also ensure that justice should be done to the Kannadigas. And it seems to be that he had the impact of it, that the Chief Minister has for now stopped the
In fact, stay with us, Imran, because there's some more news coming in. A massive fight between Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh seems to have been sparked off over this controversy as well, with IT Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Nara Lokesh, extending an olive branch to NASSCOM to expand or relocate their business to Visakhapatnam. Responding to Nara Lokesh's tweet, in fact, Karnataka's IT Minister Priyank Kharge is questioned, and I quote, "Wouldn't you also like to ensure that every company invested in Andhra Pradesh employs deserving, trained and skilled individuals from Andhra Pradesh?" So a war of words that's breaking out as well, Imran, between Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka over this entire controversy. Andhra Pradesh, in the past, traditionally we've seen similar wars when S.M. Krishna was Chief Minister and Chandrababu Naidu, Nara Lokesh's father, was then Chief Minister of undivided Andhra Pradesh. It's a similar war that seems to be taking place all over again.
Well, absolutely, Madhav. We've seen earlier the fights between S.M. Krishna and Chandrababu Naidu, and we expect also the fact that Bill Gates visited Andhra Pradesh, and then the Prime Minister of America visited Hyderabad first, and then other cities in India. There quoted a lot of wars that time too. Now the Nara Lokesh dragging it again, IT Minister, saying that addressing some of the issues raised by the NASSCOM, that they're open for the to welcome the set up the companies in Vijayawada, and they will have no such hurdles like this from the government, and the government will completely cooperate. To which immediately the IT Minister of Karnataka, Priyank Kharge, tweeted and reminded the Nara Lokesh about the number of IT sectors there is because the environment is conducive.
Thanks so much for joining us. Let's quickly open this up and take this across to our guests.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining us on the show, Rashmi Sawant, activist. We also have with us Suhas Nerukar, who's a trustee of the Center for Smart Cities. Lloyd Matthias, independent director, is with us. We also have Tehseen Poonawalla, political analyst, joining us. T.R. Prasad Gowda, leader of the Congress, is with us. And also with us is Chetan Jiral, a Kannada activist. Let me start first and foremost with you, Tehseen Poonawalla. Do companies not have the right to promote merit and talent on their own terms? Ultimately, if we are talking about the private sector, that's got to be the priority. The massive industry backlash is perhaps testament to that. What really is the government thinking about? Because your own alliance partners from CPM to other neighboring states are all questioning the logic of such a move. Tehseen.
Thank you, Madhav, for having me on the show. At the onset, I am pro the regional language, the state language, in this case, Kannada in Maharashtra, Marathi in Gujarat, Gujarati. So that must be prioritized. But this kind of a move, I think this kind of a move does harm private sector industry. I'm glad it has been considered because it's a draft bill. It was never an original bill. It was a draft bill for consideration. And what this proves is the government of Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar and under MB Patil, they listen to voices. They come up. It's a draft bill. It wasn't serious. It wasn't submitted in the assembly. But now let me ask those who support the BJP a question. And I want a yes or no answer because you are either pregnant or not pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. The BJP in Haryana has gotten 75% reservation. It was struck down by the Punjab and Haryana High Court. The BJP government in Haryana has challenged that in the Supreme Court. That matter is pending for 2 years, source Times of India. Supreme Court has asked the union government for its opinion. Last 2 years, the union government has not given its opinion on the reservation 75% in Haryana. You know why? I'll end with this. The Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat, got in a policy 85% reservation in Gujarat for locals. Now I am asking, the Congress listened to opinion, they withdrew it, it's on hold, they are considering it, Kannada must be promoted, state languages. They are listening. Is BJP doing the right thing? Did Modi ji do the right thing as Chief Minister? Don't come here and lecture the Congress. I will not tolerate the BJP lecturing the Congress. I agree that this should be discussed. It is being discussed. BJP has no right to talk. Okay. They have zero right to talk.
Okay, we'll take that question. Rashmi Sawant, the BJP has no right to talk on this issue because in Haryana, and it's well documented, that they did go to the High Court. The High Court struck it down and they've appealed that in the Supreme Court. We've seen other states also where similar laws have been brought in and have been struck down. In fact, Supreme Court has even observed that they will be looking at similar laws in other states of the country as well, whether it is whichever the states may be. How do you look at this, Rashmi Sawant? How would you respond to this?
Well, Madhav, I think I'm no spokesperson of the BJP. But all I can answer is as an honest Kannadati what I feel. So as a Kannadati, what I really feel is that we've had access to great standard of living because we've had great investment and great companies coming to this state because of the opportunities that this state provided. What will happen now is that these kinds of moves will create a prejudice among companies from coming to Karnataka, and that will, end of the day, affect the livelihood of Kannadigas and Kannaditis. That's what's going to happen. Because more than the implementation of this policy, the talk itself and the discussion widespread in the media is going to create that fear that any time such policy can come in, and that, it will adversely affect business. So that's definitely going to hamper the sort of opportunities that honest Kannadigas and Kannaditis have seen. On the contrary, I think what the government can really do is, up the skill development programs, really invest into it so that, we are really capable and on merit can take more of these opportunities and don't have to rely on the sort of reservation that is being proposed to get these good opportunities to up our standard of living. So I think end of the day, if this policy really goes through, we are getting affected adversely. It's just that we can't see it right now in front of us. The kind of opportunities that we have, the world-class opportunities, they are going to end. Okay. So we'll have to make do with whatever, remains. And then, they come to Karnataka because they can't go anywhere else.
No, but the question still remains as far as Haryana is concerned, but the current context being Karnataka. Let me put this across to T.R. Prasad Gowda. T.R. Prasad Gowda, are you trying to end the industry, finish investment in Karnataka? What's the idea behind this move? Because clearly it's not well thought out.
Good evening, Madhavan. Yeah, and end of the day, we all wanted to grow together. Not that our company should flourish and people who are in the state of Karnataka, we do not want to hamper their interest also. At the same time, we have been requesting the companies to, if our Kannadiga people are talented, when they come for the interview, consider them. We have been requesting them. And at the same time,
if they're talented, they'll be hired. What's the problem there?
What moral right? No. That is the point, sir. That is the point. There is a Kannadigas are deprived of all the rights. That's what happening. That's what we are thinking of to bring this. And what moral rights this NR Lokesh is calling to Andhra Pradesh, who already passed this resolution. We are open for discussion, and our government is still taking decision tomorrow.
How are Kannadigas deprived of their rights, sir? Please tell us.
At the same time,
please tell us on national television, how are they deprived of the rights? Please explain to us.
No.
How are they being deprived of the rights?
We have surveyed it. Survey happened where in each and every companies there is our Kannadigas are given less priority. That's what it's happening not from today, not from our government. It is happening from
Sir, where is this data coming from? Do you have a copy of this survey? Do you have a copy of this survey? Can you share the data with us?
That I will give it. That I will share it with you. Maybe I don't have right now, but I will share it with you. We have the survey, and the Kannadigas are deprived.
Okay, Lloyd Matthias, is there any, even if that is the case, even if this is indeed the case, if there's been a survey where they have found such and such findings, Lloyd Matthias, is this move in any way justified? Because this will lead to opening up of a deadly can of worms if this kind of thought process spreads across the country. How do you respond to Mr. Prasad Gowda?
Thank you for having me on your show, Madhav. I think this is regressive and discriminatory completely. And what it really does makes business rethink their entire approach to the state. I think in an era when you want to make the ease of doing business much better, this is moving a step backward. Right? And fundamentally, our constitution guarantees us the ability to be able to work anywhere in the country and this therefore works completely against that. Having said which, I think most sensible companies will clearly focus on ensuring that they have a big percentage of the local workforce. In an ideal world, they want to take people from the local geography, and that's fundamentally what good companies do. But putting this per force, having it mandatory, having observers placed in companies to actually check the records, I think really puts the whole system completely out of gear. And in an era where there is competitive politics, right? You already heard what the Andhra Industries Minister, Mr. Nara, said. I think this really is going to affect the investment climate in Karnataka, which frankly has been on the forefront. Today, if you look at the startup ecosystem, Karnataka is right up there. I just want to draw the panel's attention to a tweet from Samir Nigam, who's the founder of PhonePe, that employs 25,000 people. Now, he's the son of a Navy man, and he went on record to say that he's never lived more than 15 years in Karnataka. And therefore, do his kids not have the right to find employment there just because they're not domiciled? I think these are very, very fundamental questions.
Absolutely.
If the intention of the government is to actually increase employment for Kannadigas, I think the way forward really has to be about investing in skills, investing in higher education, and making even non-domiciles love Kannada culture.
Yeah, let me bring in Chetan on that point. Chetan, ultimately you have to make things more business friendly if you want more investment to improve the quality of life, if you want to improve economic activity. Because this bill would end up undoing all that. Any corporation would prefer to hire locals who know the local systems and the local way of living, etc. They're only perhaps doing so because they need specialized talents, etc., which perhaps various companies from IT to the higher skilled companies. And, is it really fair? Because you have companies that have come in from across the world. They perhaps didn't know that they will have to comply by these rules. Will tomorrow you want all of them to pack up? Chetan?
Thanks for having me, Madhav. Probably what I would like to start with is a good point that we are introspecting of what should be the win-win situation for the industries versus the states which host these industries, right? So the first thing that I would want to say is, yes, we want industries to flourish, right? They have to kind of grow year on year. That's what we want, so that the people who work there are also benefited out of it. But also the point that we need to understand or kind of retrospectively look at is that when industry is set up within a state, the governments typically have MOUs with that state seeking a preferential policy for the locals to get the jobs, because the land, the electricity, the water, whatever the resource that the industry needs are provided at a very subsidized or marginal rates to these industries. So the intent of the government is to ensure that the people who are skilled, right? When we talk about reservation, let's not be very skeptical to say that, okay, any topic who is going on the street would be recruited for a particular role. It's that every role has a criteria. Even if there is a reservation, probably I would see it as a preferential policy.
But sir, do you know what the High Court has said while striking it down? It comes down upon the constitutional right of the individual, the right of the person to move around the country. The High Court has found it violatory of that, and that's where there is a problem. And let me quickly bring in Suhas Neurkar on that point. Suhas Neurkar, while it's true that the government does give subsidized land and other schemes, there's SEZs and all sorts of schemes that have actually been put out by different governments, center and state, to promote investment, to promote manufacturing. At the end of the day, you have to do justice to the locals is the argument that is coming in from those who are supporting the government's move. Please respond to that.
I'm going to. Everybody's spoken a lot in English using adjectives, adverbs. As a scientist and an engineer, I'm going to focus on numbers. So let's understand the numbers before we decide whether there's a problem. Bangalore has a population of 1.4 crores. It's fair to say that the working population is probably around 60 lakhs. It removes senior citizens, retired citizens, young children, housewives, etc. So let's take an upper number of 60 lakhs. The number of people employed by the IT sector is around 15 lakhs. That's 25%. Now, understand this. Nowhere in the world can a particular city have such a high skew of people in a high-tech industry, 25%. So if you were to remove, let's for the sake of this discussion assume that there was no migration into Bangalore. There is literally no way that Bangalore could have grown to this number, because, and nothing to do with skill level of people in the city or anywhere. It's got nothing to do with it. You, as a pure demographic in any particular city, you cannot have 25% of the working population from the city who are in a high-tech space. That is not logical. You cannot have so many engineers and science graduates, 25% who are employable in a high-tech sector. It doesn't happen in Silicon Valley. So how do these centers grow? They grow by migration.
Absolutely.
That's the nature of the beast. So the entire
Well, Suhas, I'll have to stop you there because clearly this is a very, very important debate. It's a debate that can take all day, but certainly a debate that has many people rattled, many people questioning what really the logic was. And we certainly hope that whatever decision is taken, it's after a lot of counsel and it's after a lot of saner minds prevail. Lakshmi Sawant, Suhas Nerurkar, Lloyd Matthias, Tehseen Purawala, T.R. Prasad Gowda, and Chetan Jiran, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this evening.